I'm James Smith, and I'll be your online English teacher. Welcome to my daily podcast, the Royal Guard Podcast. Daily English made to say. Hello there, and a very warm welcome to the very first episode of the Royal Guardian Podcast. I am James Smith, and I am absolutely delighted that you have decided to press play and join me here today. I am speaking to you from my small, comfortable studio in London, where I have just boiled the kettle for a fresh cup of tea, and I invite you to do the same. Whether you are commuting to work, washing the dishes, or simply taking a moment for yourself, you have arrived at the right place. I am going to be your online English teacher, but please do not panic. I am not going to ask you to open a textbook on page 94, and I am certainly not going to give you a grammar exam. My role is simply to be your guide, your partner, and your daily companion on this journey to fluency. The mission of this podcast is very simple. We want to help you learn English every single day, not by studying hard, but by listening naturally. You see, most people fail at learning languages because they treat it like a chore, like cleaning the bathroom or paying taxes. They force themselves to memorize lists of words until their brains hurt. Here at the Royal Guardian, we believe that learning should be a sanctuary. It should be the best 15 minutes of your day. We are here to build a habit, a daily ritual that fits into your life as easily as your morning coffee. We focus on consistency over perfection, because doing a little bit every day is infinitely better than doing a lot once a month and then giving up. Now, you might be wondering how we are going to achieve this. Every episode of this podcast follows a very specific 3-part structure. We have designed this structure carefully to optimize how your brain absorbs new information. The first section is always the good news. Why do we start with news? Because the world can be a stressful place, and stress is the enemy of language learning. When you are stressed, your brain shuts down. It builds a wall. But when you are happy, when you are smiling, your brain releases dopamine, and that dopamine makes you more receptive to new vocabulary. So, in every episode, I will bring you 2 positive, uplifting, or slightly funny stories from around the world. We will laugh. We will relax, and we will get your mind ready to learn. For example, did you know that cows have best friends, and they get stressed when they are separated? It is true. Knowing that fact doesn't just teach you the word separated. It makes you feel something. And when you feel, you remember. This is the philosophy of our first section. We open the door to English through positivity, kindness, and perhaps a little bit of British humor. So please get comfortable, forget about your worries for a moment, and trust that you are in good hands. Right then, let us move on to the second pillar of our podcast, the listening challenge. This section is the heart of our method. You see, many students can read English perfectly, but when they hear a native speaker in a movie or on the street, they feel lost. They say, "James, why do they speak so fast?" The answer is that you have been training your eyes, not your ears. You need to expose your ears to English in context, within a story, not just isolated words floating in space. In this section, I will tell you a short story in every single episode. Usually, these stories will involve my intern, Barnaby. Barnaby is a lovely young man, very enthusiastic, but he is, how shall I put this politely, accident-prone. He is the sort of person who buys salt instead of sugar for his coffee and wonders why it tastes terrible. By listening to Barnaby's adventures, or sometimes his disasters, you will learn phrasal verbs, idioms, and natural expressions exactly as they are used in real life. I will tell the story clearly, with a natural flow, and I will not stop to explain every single grammar rule, because that breaks the magic. I want you to get lost in the narrative. After the story, we will always have a quiz. I will ask you 3 specific questions to test your comprehension. This is crucial because it transforms you from a passive listener into an active detective. You are not just letting the sounds wash over you. You are hunting for information. For example, if I tell you a story about Barnaby losing his umbrella on a bus in Manchester, I might ask you, where did he lose the item and what city was he in? This trains your brain to pick out key details, even if you don't understand every single word. It is okay if you don't understand 100% of the story the first time. In fact, that is normal. We want you to be comfortable with uncertainty. Guessing the meaning from the context is one of the most powerful skills a language learner can develop. If Barnaby sprints to catch the bus and he is late, you can guess that sprint means to run very fast, even if you have never heard the word before. That is how children learn, and that is how you will learn with us. So, in this section, we train your ear, we expand your vocabulary through storytelling, and we have a bit of fun at Barnaby's expense. He doesn't mind, I promise. He is just happy to be part of the team. Finally, we arrive at the third and perhaps the most transformative section of our podcast, the shadowing session. If a listening challenge is for your ears, the shadowing session is the gym for your mouth. You see, speaking English is a physical activity. It involves muscles in your face, your tongue, your lips, and your throat that you might not use in your native language. You cannot learn to play the piano just by watching someone else play. You have to put your fingers on the keys. The same is true for English. You have to speak it to own it. In this final section, we take the theme of the episode and we turn it into action. I will give you a series of sentences, some short, some long, and we will use a technique called shadowing. It works like this. I will say a sentence clearly, with a correct British intonation and rhythm. Then I will leave a generous pause, a silence. In that silence, your job is to repeat the sentence out loud. Not in your head, but out loud. You must copy my melody. If my voice goes up at the end of a question, your voice must go up. If I stress a certain word, you must stress that word. For example, in a future episode, we might practice introducing ourselves. I might say, "Hello, my name is James and I am delighted to meet you." You will wait, and then you will repeat it. We will practice the connection between words, the rhythm of the sentence, and the specific sounds that are difficult for learners. This builds what we call muscle memory. After a while, your mouth will know how to make the shapes of English automatically, without you having to think about it. This is where the magic happens. This is where you stop translating from your native language and start thinking in English. It requires a bit of courage to talk to yourself, I know. You might feel a bit silly doing this on the bus or while walking the dog, but I assure you it works. It is the fastest way to improve your accent and your fluency. So, that is the Royal Guardian Podcast. 3 simple sections. Good news to relax the brain, a story to train the ear, and shadowing to train the mouth. We do this every day in small, manageable doses. I am James Smith, and along with Barnaby, who has just tripped over a microphone cable, bless him, we are honored to be your partners on this journey. Thank you for listening to this introduction. Please subscribe so you don't miss our first real lesson, and remember, consistency is the key. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye for now.